Hey everyone, what's going on? Corey here, coming back at you in the video. As I promised, I would come back with another video, and here's another video. So what is this video about? It's about the Nikon 70 to 300 millimeter f4.5 to 6.3 VR lens for DX camera here on my Nikon D3400. I'm going to talk about this lens since this lens doesn't get a lot of recognition. Talk about, sure, the slow aperture on it, f 4.5, not terrible. I mean, sure, it would have been great if it was like a 3.5 like the 1855 is, but then again, on the 55 millimeter focal length on the 18 to 55 it's 5.6, and on the 70 to 300 at the widest spectrum it's 4.5. Low light, I mean, obviously you're going to increase your ISO. You have to decrease your shutter to get enough light in there. That's my downside. But this lens, but as far as daytime and accurate focus and fast focus with this thing, it's a beauty. It really is. It's really, really, really good lens. It's very solid. It's very smooth in the barrel area, and especially the focus ring. Yeah, sure, there's no hard stops on it to infinity, but it's really, really smooth. The cool thing about this lens is I can have it in AFA, and if I wanted to control it, if the autofocus is not hitting kind of where I want it, I can easily take control of it. Same thing with the E1055, which I have back in my bag. It definitely makes it obviously much bigger. You can tell on my hands. But then again, if you think about the 70 to 200s, all the big telephoto lenses, this is it's twice the size of this lens here. And usually those are on the full frame class, full frame cameras in that regard. But either way, full frame or DX on the Nikon system is it's not bad. It's really compact for the zoom range it gives you. And let me say, this thing, if you remember the old slogan of AT&T, reach out and touch somebody, is what my dad used to always say. This will let you reach out and really get your subjects. A lot of people say, if you were to research this lens here, a lot of people say it's a really good portrait lens. I must say, it's a lot of my street photography stuff has past couple of days who followed me on Instagram. Look at me on Instagram, Everyday Photos by Corey. That's my photography page. Also have one for my personal page. I just do different things on there, but for photography perspective, Everyday Photos by Corey. You'll see me on there, and you'll see the past couple of days. I've a lot of the images came from the 70-300. Pretty much most raw camera. I've had to maybe just tweak the highlights and the exposure just a tiny bit from this camera, but it comes to speed and autofocus. This thing is really really quiet and really fast, actually. I'll let you hear it too. Turn on. Hear it or not, let's see. It would help if I have the battery in my camera. Sorry about that. I had my battery on charge, and I thought I put it back in the camera. I'll have to do that. That would kind of help in this example I give you. Beep 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 beep. It is it's not a bad lens. The only gripe with it is it's 4.5 at the widest and 6.3 at the far end of it. That's my only complaint. It's just a slower aperture, but it's not end all be all. I mean, the range I got out of this thing is really remarkable. I shot a couple of my photos actually yesterday. Later on in the day, I shot the 18 to 55, and the wide stuff is nice. It's really wide, but with street, and you really want to kind of isolate your subjects or whatever you're shooting. Same thing as the portrait. You want to isolate what's in your frame, and I think when I did the 1855 yesterday, I'm like, I'm not getting the results I wanted. I want a little bit more of a punch in, and that's, I think, where, as far as street photos go, I think the 70 to 300 would be my go-to, unless they're really closer to up to me. I don't see this being an issue at all. I mean, this, again, it's, the focus on this thing is pretty freaking remarkable. It's pretty fast. I was set to AFA, I believe, on this one. Sure, there's no touchscreen on this thing, but I mean, again, I like this. Still working my way around it. Sure, they call it entry-level camera, but with any camera, even with my phone, I can go in and manipulate the settings. And if you're good at photography and you understand the settings, technical aspect of it, you can work way around any type of entry-level camera, especially this one being a couple years old. It still has a really, really great dynamic range, really good image, 24 megapixels, which is kind of what I wanted. The reason why I traded in the Fuji system I had, I wanted a little bit more megapixels, and sure, it's chimping, obviously, with this. But it's not an all be all. I kind of did the same thing with my Fuji in a way, even though the Fuji gave me electronical viewfinder, which is nice to see the image, really for me it was nice to see not only the image, what I'm going to get, but also the exposure. But it's not end all be all. A little bit more work in the DSLRs, but I still really like it. It's still really responsive. I like it. I really do. This is going to be obviously my camera for years to come. I get a lot out of it. The image and the center of this thing is still really, really, really good. It's just a couple years old. They have the 3500 out. Of course, they have the new Nikon 780, which is full frame, which, sorry, way out of my budget. I'm not going to buy that. This is why I got this. Biggest reason why I got this, because if I wasn't able to get this lens, I probably would have stuck with the Fuji. But since I'm like, all right, I budgeted, I'm like, okay, if I do this, do that, do this, if I trade in my gear, and this is the amount I have left, can I get this lens for the price? And I was able to. I really was. And it worked out well. So now I have the 1855 and also I have the 70-300, which are two really, really good lenses, two really good focal lengths to be at, zoom ranges to be at, I think, for any shooter. Even my coworkers in press like, man, I wish I had a 70-300. My only goes 200. I'm like, well, yeah. But he has a full frame camera. He has the Nikon D750, I believe, which is about 5.5 years old. So yeah, I mean, I really, really do really like this camera. This is mainly for stills. It has video capabilities, 1080p. It's not my, I mean, if I can shoot video, it's fine. I'll get video. But primary use for this camera for me is the stills and the range out of this, particularly out of the zoom, which I think is, considering, again, slower aperture, but that's the only downside with this lens. This lens covers, considering it's on a DX crop body, it covers a lot. And that's the impressive thing. It's like you don't have to get up close. I mean, you can get a subject from 300 millimeters, and again, it's not that long. You figure my face here, so it doesn't stick out a whole lot, which is nice. I mean, it's real smooth. This is a AF, so this one and my 1855 is it's an AFP, which is essentially it's quicker autofocus, but also the AFP design lenses has like a super silent motor drive in it, essentially, and it's really designed for the video. So when you're zooming in, zooming out, you don't hear the motor trying to focus on you. There's a live view on it, so I can use it as a mirrorless camera. It's real simple or easy. Touchscreen, I really don't care about touchscreen so much. I mean, that's just an extra nuisance. I mean, if I want to, just click on the playback button and just kind of quickly, zoom in. That's really it. It only takes me a few seconds. That's not the trick. That's it. Back button autofocus, back button focus, which is always nice. It's a nice compact camera. I really like it. Again, the big thing is the zoom. I really do like to zoom. It's really grown on me. It's really well built. Yeah, sure, it's plastic, but it's built. It's this Nikon glass in there. If you know Nikon and Fuji and Leica, they're known for their glass. So sure, I mean, what I like, the nice hard solid full aluminum steel lens, weatherproof. Sure, but me, the range is really what matters to me. That's really what matters to me. So that's it for this video, guys. Follow me on Instagram, Everyday Photos by Corey on Instagram. You'll see all my street photography photos on there, as well as other stuff I do in the photo side of things. Let me know if you have any questions below, comments, leave them down below. Shoot me a message here, or go on my Instagram. You can shoot me a message. Any questions, concerns, anything about this lens, the camera, my thought process behind it, why I switched, any of that stuff, I'd be more than happy to answer for you. And we'll see you all next video, guys.